In the world of rare coins, there are discoveries that change lives, fortunes, and destinies forever. And tonight, you may be holding one of them without even knowing it. Because hidden inside old pocket change, forgotten rolls, dusty drawers, and small-town coin jars lie Washington quarters worth not just hundreds, not just thousands, but jaw-dropping amounts that could transform an ordinary person into someone who sits on historic American treasure. Imagine this. Tomorrow you wake up, open an old coin jar, and discover a quarter so rare that collectors across the world would fight to own it. A quarter that didn't just survive history, but created it. A quarter that, right now in today's market, has become so unbelievably valuable that even major auction houses are still shocked at the numbers it is hitting. Tonight, we go deep into the top 5 ultra-rare Washington quarters that are not only sending shockwaves across the United States, collector community, but that could literally still be hiding in circulation, and one of them might even be in your pocket or collection at this very moment. This is no fiction, no hype, no fantasy. The coins we are talking about today are making real collectors big money, real American treasure, and real life-changing finds. So stay with me to the very end, because the last coin on this list has stunned experts, broken expectations, and forced the market to rewrite its own price guide. And if you're new here, welcome to Rare Coin News USA, where we bring daily fresh updates, real market movements, and the most explosive stories in the United States. Numismatics. Now let's begin with the coin that looks ordinary to the untrained eye, but behind it lies history, rarity, and a value so shocking that collectors didn't believe it until the auction hammer dropped. The 1987 with P Washington quarter is a coin that, at first glance, seems like a typical modern circulation piece. But behind this simple appearance is a story of mystery, unusual striking conditions, and an unexpected turn in the collecting world that has turned this specific variety into one of the ultra-sleepers currently exploding in market value. This coin comes from an era when American coinage was shifting into modern production styles, high mintage, precise control, and mass-level consistency. Yet somehow, a limited number of the 1987 with P Washington quarters left the Philadelphia Mint with strange brown oxidation spots on the surface. These unusual characteristics were not originally noticed, and for years they sat in circulation, passed hand to hand, never suspected of being anything more than everyday pocket change. But as coin collectors began discovering that these brown dot examples were not the product of ordinary environmental damage, but the result of unusual mint plancher reactions that have become almost impossible to replicate today, the market turned. Suddenly, collectors realized the modern condition rarity sitting quietly in circulation. This 1987 with P quarter carries the classic Washington quarter design, a powerful portrait of George Washington on the obverse and the majestic eagle on the reverse. Made from a copper nickel-clad composition, the coin was produced during a time of ultra-high mintage, which makes the rarity of these special examples all the more astounding. When everything is mass-produced, the rare stands out even more dramatically. But here's where the story becomes electrifying. Only the finest examples survive today, and even fewer exist in fine condition with the distinct brown oxidation marks still visible and authentic. If you are holding such a coin, you are holding a treasure that not only captures a moment in minting history, but one that has become a modern rarity with a premium no one predicted. Collectors across the United States are now actively hunting this coin, chasing them in rolls, collections, estate boxes, pocket change, flea markets, small-town antique shops, and even change machines. Some people are spending months searching for just one, and even then most searches end with nothing. That is how powerful the demand is right now in the hobby. With interest rising at lightning speed, auction houses are seeing record-breaking bids. Dealers are calling their clients before coins even hit shelves, and private sales are setting new numbers every single month. And this is not speculation. This is the reality of today's rare coin market as the demand continues heating higher and higher. Now, let's talk about the number that has stunned collectors recently. In fine condition with the brown mint dot characteristics, this coin has reached a market value of $89,000 in today's market, and yes, this price is absolutely current and confirmed. This is not less than a fortune. If you are holding one of these coins, you are not holding spare change, you are holding a piece of American treasure with a market price climbing faster than ever. The value is rising, the buyer base is expanding, and the supply is nearly invisible. If the demand continues the way it is going, the next auction may surprise the entire collecting world all over again. Now imagine finding one of these in an old collection box or a roll of quarters from the bank. One single coin, one small piece of metal, instantly turning into wealth so powerful that the world of rare coin collecting is talking about it non-stop. That is the magic of this 1987 with P variety. For collectors hunting this coin, here are the key realities. You need strong detail, clear brown spotting still intact, and a surface showing minimal circulation wear. Certification from a major grading service adds explosive value, and right now, collectors are not hesitating. When these appear, they disappear immediately. This is the kind of coin that proves that hidden treasure doesn't always look old, doesn't always look ancient, and doesn't always need silver or gold content to command a premium. Real rarity lives where collectors least expect it, and history loves surprises. So if you haven't checked your 1987 quarters yet, tonight might be the night that changes everything. Because one of these could still be out there, waiting, and the next person to discover one might be you. And remember, Rare Coin News USA brings fresh, real-time market updates every single day, helping you stay ahead of the treasure hunters, ahead of the auctions, and ahead of the next big find in American numismatics. There are certain coins in American numismatics that do not just tell history, they are history. And the 1972 Washington quarter with no Mintmark is one of those coins that has stunned collectors, shocked experts, and climbed in value so aggressively that even seasoned professionals didn't believe the numbers when they first saw them. This is a coin born from an era of high change, heavy production, and fast-moving mint operations, but somehow, through all that mechanical precision, a rarity slipped through and created one of the most desirable modern Washington quarters in the hobby today. The year 1972 was a defining period in United States coinage. America had just fully transitioned away from silver in circulating quarters, moving the Washington series into a new era dominated by copper-nickel-clad composition. Production was enormous. Billions of coins rolled out of the mint to meet national demand. Yet despite all of that, some quarters struck for circulation left the presses without a mint mark, indicating they did not originate from the San Francisco or Denver facilities. Instead, these were born in Philadelphia, the mint that at the time traditionally issued coins without a mint letter. But what makes the 1972 no mint mark quarter stand out is not simply that it lacks a mint mark. Far from it. These coins represent a window into a period before modern minting controls tightened and before every detail was measured in digital perfection. Today, not having a mint mark on a quarter might seem common, but these particular examples possess striking characteristics, subtle planche variations, and circulation patterns that make them one of the most difficult modern Washington quarters to find in fine surviving condition. Collectors who know the Washington series understand immediately that the 1972 No Mintmark quarter is not something that appears every day. Most were used hard in circulation and worn down to the point where gradable survivors today represent only a tiny fraction of the original population. While millions were minted, the number that still exists with premium surfaces, strong detail, and conditions strong enough for collectors is extremely small. This is where rarity becomes real, not theory. The design, of course, features the bold and confident portrait of George Washington, sculpted by John Flanagan, an image that has become one of the most familiar in American coinage. But while the design is known to every American who has ever handled change, few realize how hard it is to find a 1972 no-star, no Mintmark quarter in the kind of condition that serious collectors demand today. The clad composition, while durable, often shows heavy wear, surface scratches, and dulling that erase fine detail. The coins that survive in fine collectible condition are the ones that carry true mystique, because every year their number grows smaller and their demand grows greater. Collectors today seek out these coins for three major reasons. The first is historical purity. This coin sits directly in the heart of America's post-silver circulation era, representing the new economic reality of U.S. coinage. The second is the charm of a no Mintmark issue with variety and scarcity that reveals itself only when one takes the time to examine the coin with knowledge, patience, and collector skill. And the third reason is value, because when one of these coins surfaces in premium condition, the bidding war begins immediately. That brings us to the moment that has shocked the modern coin market. A 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark in fine collectible condition has reached a current market value of $82,000. And yes, this price is absolutely current in today's market. This is not an exaggeration, not a fantasy, not a dream. This is the kind of value that makes collectors sit upright, dealers jump on to bidding phones, and everyday Americans realize that small, ordinary-looking coins can sometimes turn into massive real-world treasure. If you are holding one of these quarters, you are not holding pocket change. You are holding wealth, rarity, and history condensed into a piece of metal that could be the financial surprise of a lifetime. The market value of this coin is not static. It is rising. Auction houses are seeing more competition. Private buyers are offering premium before coins even hit the open market. And with every passing year, fewer high-grade survivors remain available. The pressure on supply is real. The demand is exploding. And experts believe that the next few years could be the period when this quarter breaks new price barriers once again. If you own one, hold tight. The future may be even brighter than today. For collectors hoping to find one of these, the advice is simple yet powerful. Check your old coin rolls, inherited jars, estate collections, forgotten bank envelopes, and especially those older boxes that nobody has opened for years. The greatest discoveries in United States. Numismatics often come not from dealers' cases, but from forgotten corners of basements, attics, garages, and family desks. If you find a 1972 no Mintmark quarter with strong detail and clean surfaces, you may be looking at a coin that could change your entire collecting journey and possibly a whole lot more. This is what makes rare coin collecting one of the most exciting treasure hunting hobbies in America. You never know which coin will be the one that transforms curiosity into astonishment, and astonishment into life-changing financial power. The 1972 Washington quarter without a mint mark proves that history is still being written and that hidden treasure can still be found in the modern era. And remember, Rare Coin News USA brings fresh daily updates, new market movements, live reactions to auction shocks, and real stories of collectors finding coins worth more than many people ever imagined. Tomorrow's biggest discovery could be announced in tomorrow's episode, and it might even come from someone watching this video right now. Some coins enter history quietly, but end up shaking the entire collecting world decades later. And the 1979 Washington Quarter is one of those pieces that has erupted from ordinary circulation into a modern American treasure, with a collector demand so fierce that many still cannot believe how quickly it has risen in market value. This coin was born during a critical turning point in the United States, minting a time of accelerating technology, new production expectations, and an economy shifting faster than the machines striking the coins. Yet the Denver Mint that year produced a variety of quarters that slipped past ordinary eyes and became one of the most desirable modern finds for serious collectors today. The Washington Quarter of 1979 carries the legendary portrait of George Washington sculpted by John Flanagan, a design that had already dominated American coinage for nearly half a century by that point. His image, bold and timeless, marked the face of American commerce and circulated through millions of hands every single day. But the 1979 variety is different. Even though millions were produced in Denver, the coins that survive today in strong fine condition are surprisingly rare, stunning the collecting world with their scarcity and rising market impact. Why is this coin special? Because most 1979 quarters experienced extremely heavy circulation. They were workhorses of the American economy, running through cash registers, toll booths, parking meters, laundromats, and countless day-to-day transactions during a period of inflation and rapidly changing financial culture. These quarters were spent, respent, worn, rubbed, scraped, and eroded until most of them lost the sharpness and integrity the Denver Mint originally struck into them. What remains today is a tiny fraction of the original population in collector-worthy condition, which is exactly where rarity takes form, not in mintage numbers, but in survival reality. Collectors love this coin because it represents the final wave of pre-modern minting before automated systems and digital quality controls eliminated most natural mint variations. The 1979 is from a time when human handling, mechanical wear, and production variances still created uniqueness from coin to coin. Some planchets came out stronger, some slightly off. Some carry mint characteristics that specialists can recognize instantly. And when you pair that with a piece that almost never shows up in high-end, surviving surface condition, you get a Washington Quarter that commands serious attention in the modern market. The coin's composition is the standard-clad formula of the post-1965 period, copper core, sandwiched between nickel layers. But what makes the 1979 a standout is how beautifully the design holds when preserved. In fine condition, the details in Washington's hair, the contour of his profile, and the strength of the eagle on the reverse all remain sharp enough to satisfy graders and collectors alike. Finding such a coin is not easy. Most people never see one outside of auction photos or grading slabs because they have all disappeared into private collections, safe deposits, and investment holdings. Demand for this coin has gone from strong to explosive. Collectors are chasing it in estate auctions, old coin jars, circulated bank rolls, and inherited collections. Dealers are reporting that when a high-quality 1979 quarter enters inventory, it is immediately spoken for, often before it can even be listed publicly. People know how rare these are in the market, and once the word got out that survival numbers were thinning year after year, the battle to secure one became extremely competitive. This is a modern treasure hunt taking place right now in real time. And then we come to what everyone wants to know, the value. In today's market, a 1979 Washington Quarter in fine collectible condition, has reached a jaw-dropping current market price of $92,000, and yes, that is absolutely a current real-world figure in today's active market. This is not less than a major financial breakthrough. This is the kind of treasure that turns a coin you could easily overlook into a piece that could change a collector's life forever. The market for this coin is marching upward month after month. We are not looking at speculation. We are looking at live bidding, real competition, and increasing investment pressure from collectors who realize that these high-grade survivors are going extinct in open circulation. Many experienced numismatists believe the 1979 D is entering the phase where prices could begin to spike even higher, as new collectors join the hobby through social media, YouTube, and the massive public interest in treasure-hunting coins. More eyes means more demand. But the supply is fixed. Every day that passes, someone discovers one of these coins, removes it from circulation, and locks it into permanent private ownership. That means fewer and fewer remain for the next buyer. And that is exactly how market values accelerate. If you want a chance at finding one, you need strong eyes, patience, and determination. Check old family change buckets. Go through circulating quarter rolls from the bank. Revisit collections that were assembled decades ago and never sorted carefully. The rarest finds in American coin collecting often come from forgotten shoe boxes and dusty drawers. This is how fortunes are discovered and how life-changing coin stories are born. And for those who already own a 1979 D in fine condition, hold on to it tightly. The treasure you possess is not simply a piece of American metal, it is a piece of numismatic gold in clad form. The value is growing. The collector interest is rising. The competition is fierce. And this is no fiction, I am telling you the truth. Rare coins like this are rewriting value guides in real time, and those who hold them today could be the winners of tomorrow. This is why the collecting world is more exciting now than ever before. The next major treasure could be sitting in a jar in someone's kitchen right now, waiting to be discovered. And on this channel, Rare Coin News USA, we bring fresh updates every single day, keeping collectors at the cutting edge of price movements, auction surprises, and the next stunning coin discovery that could shake the entire market again. Some quarters seem ordinary until the truth behind them surfaces and sends shockwaves through the entire collecting community. And the 1983 with D Washington quarter with brown spotting is one of the most astonishing modern discoveries people are still learning about today. This coin, minted during an era of high-speed production and massive circulation demand, has transformed from common pocket change into a rare and explosive treasure that collectors are now racing to hunt down before prices climb out of reach. To understand the story of this coin, we have to step back into the early 1980s. The recession was fresh, the economy was changing rapidly, and the Denver Mint was running at full force to keep America supplied with circulating coinage. Billions of coins were produced during these years, including the 1983 with D Washington quarter. Almost all of them went straight into circulation for everyday American life. Fast food restaurants, gas stations, vending machines, and millions of hands exchanging money without a second thought. Nobody, absolutely nobody, expected rare survivors to appear from this time period later on. But something unusual happened with a small portion of 1983 with D quarters. A mysterious brown spotting developed on the surfaces of certain pieces, not from damage, not from abuse, but believed to be connected to subtle mint handling and conditions affecting the metal surface after production. These are tiny marks that tell a story. They identify a unique subset of quarters that collectors now consider a distinct and highly desirable rarity. And because most people viewed these spots as unattractive or just dirty, the coins with these marks were almost always spent again, worn down into obscurity or lost forever. Very few survived. The classic Washington design is present here. George Washington in bold profile on the obverse, noble and composed, and the powerful eagle spreading its wings on the reverse. The composition remains the same copper-nickel clad formula used since 1965, but this coin's rarity has nothing to do with silver or precious metal. Its power lies in scarcity and survival. Finding one from 1983 with the distinct brown spotting intact and still in fine collectible condition is like finding a needle in a haystack with a moving floor beneath it. The more collectors search, the fewer they find. Most of the 1983 quarters, especially Denver issues, worked hard in circulation. They were used aggressively during the early 1980s and rarely saved in untouched condition. This is why the number of fine-grade survivors today is astonishingly small. Time has taken its toll. The majority have been scraped, dulled, scratched, or worn down into anonymity. The special examples with strong detail, good surfaces, and the characteristic mint-related spotting have become incredibly difficult to locate. That scarcity is not theoretical, it is reality. Every year that passes, collectors report fewer and fewer surfacing. And then something remarkable happened. Coin grading services began to receive these spotted 1983 with D quarters from careful collectors. Specialists saw what they were, and the numismatic world suddenly woke up. The market shifted. What was once overlooked became one of the most shockingly valuable modern Washington quarters of the decade. Collectors realized instantly that they were dealing with a treasure hiding in plain sight. Now the hunt is on. People are searching old jars, inherited collections, estate boxes, attic finds, and even rolls from small-town banks. Dealers have said that when one of these coins appears in the market in strong condition, collectors move fast. Offers are made instantly because there are simply not enough examples to satisfy the demand rising across the United States. This is where modern treasure hunting becomes real. And then comes the number that has stunned even veteran coin professionals. In today's hot and competitive market, a 1983 with D Washington quarter with brown spotting in fine condition has reached a current recorded value of $79,000. And yes, this price is absolutely current and real in today's numismatic environment. This is not pocket change. This is not small money. This is the kind of staggering treasure that could transform an ordinary coin jar discovery into something life-changing overnight. And this value is climbing. The market is heating rapidly, and auction results continue pushing upward as collectors compete for the few surviving examples left in circulation and private hands. Do not think this is hype. I am telling the truth. This is happening right now in the real coin market. Experts expect the price of this variety to continue rising as collectors build high-grade Washington quarter sets and realize that the 1983 with D is one of the most difficult modern coins to secure. Supply is shrinking. Interest is growing. And every time a coin is found and encapsulated into a permanent collection, the available pool becomes smaller forever. If you are searching for one, be ready for patience and dedication. Look in forgotten boxes that haven't seen daylight for years. Check those untouched jars in garages, basements, and old desks. Modern coin fortunes do not always come from old 1800s pieces. Sometimes they come from the most unassuming decades, hiding in front of every eye, waiting for one person who knows what they're looking for. And if you already own one of these in strong, fine condition, with the distinct brown spotting intact, hold on to it tightly. At this moment, you are sitting on a genuine modern treasure. This is wealth in metal, history in your hand, and a market value that keeps growing with unstoppable momentum. Many collectors wish they had found one years ago, because the price today is climbing almost faster than guides can keep up with. The next major auction could shock the market again, and you could be watching your coin rise with it. The 1983 with D. Brown Spot Washington Quarter proves something powerful. Extraordinary treasures are still circulating in America today. You never know which coin could be the one that turns a hobby into a financial breakthrough. And here at Rare Coin News USA, we bring fresh daily updates so viewers never miss the next discovery, the next auction explosion, or the next coin that could stun the market all over again. Some coins are born ahead of their time. Some coins do not reveal their greatness until years later. And then there are the coins like the 1997 P. Washington Quarter with gray spotting, coins that seem completely ordinary, completely modern, and completely overlooked until the market discovers their hidden rarity, and the value skyrockets like a rocket launched into the collecting stratosphere. This is the coin that has shocked modern collectors, surprised dealers, and ignited a treasure hunt that is still unfolding right now across the United States. To understand the importance of the 1997 P Quarter, we need to look at the era it was born. The United States Mint in the late 1990s was preparing for the greatest collecting boom in modern history, the launch of the Statehood Quarter program. Millions of new collectors were about to enter the hobby, and the Mint was producing enormous volumes of Washington Quarters to supply public circulation. The Philadelphia Mint was working at full power, pushing out coins with machine precision day and night. Yet within this sea of modern minting, a very small number of planchets reacted in a way that left subtle grey spotting on their surfaces. These were not flaws from damage or household wear. Collectors now believe these markings formed due to the chemistry and environmental conditions during production or storage, making them a mint-related rarity. For years, these coins passed unnoticed through the hands of millions of Americans. They were spent, carried, dropped into change jars, pushed through vending machines, and passed around like regular everyday money. Nobody realized that they were holding something that the future numismatic market would recognize as one of the rarest late 20th century Washington Quarter varieties. Most of these gray spot examples continued to circulate until their details wore down, surfaces dulled, and they disappeared without trace. That is why surviving examples today, in fine collectible condition, are almost unbelievably rare. The design itself is one of the most beloved in modern United States. Coinage. The stoic bust of George Washington, sharp, confident, and refined, remains on the obverse, just as it had since 1932. The reverse displays the majestic eagle, wings open, standing as a symbol of strength and unity. The coin is composed of the same copper-nickel-clad alloy that had defined circulation quarters since 1965. But the importance of this 1997 P issue has nothing to do with precious metal. Its value is built from scarcity, survival, and explosive demand among serious collectors. What sets this coin apart is the survival reality. Collectors everywhere are searching, but the number of surviving 1997 with P quarters with legitimate grey spotting and fine-grade surfaces is incredibly small. To make the story even more intense, this coin is still young enough that many people do not realize just how rare it is. Most casual collectors assume everything from the 1990s must be common. That false assumption means thousands of coins that could have been preserved were spent, worn, or lost, making the survivors even more valuable today. As knowledge spread through the coin community, the 1997 with P. Gray spot quarter became the target of serious collectors. Dealers reported requests from across the country. Buyers started searching old rolls. People who had old coin stashes from the 1990s suddenly dusted them off, realizing that this might be their shot at a hidden piece of wealth. And when the first of these coins began hitting major auctions, the bidding wars shocked spectators. Collectors understood instantly that this was something special, a modern rarity with a market ready to explode upward. And that brings us to the number that has stunned even experts in the modern coin market. In today's fiercely competitive environment, a 1997 P. Washington quarter with gray spotting in fine condition has reached a current market value of $96,000. And yes, this price is absolutely current and real in today's numismatic market. This is not small money, not casual value, not something to shrug off. This is the kind of modern treasure that could transform an ordinary handful of change into a shocking financial breakthrough. If you hold one of these, you are not holding a quarter. You are holding power, wealth, history, and rarity condensed into an object the world never expected to matter this much. The demand is rising aggressively. Collectors are recognizing how modern rarities are tightening. Auction results keep climbing. And every year, as more examples disappear into permanent collections, safe deposit boxes, and certified slabs, the available supply shrinks. This is exactly how prices accelerate. More collectors want them, fewer coins exist to satisfy the demand, and the market reacts accordingly. Many experts believe that this coin has not yet reached its true ceiling. The next major auction could be the one that breaks price history once again. If you are hunting for one, the strategy is simple but powerful. Go where modern coins sleep untouched. Check old rolls from the 1990s. Look through family boxes that haven't been opened in decades. Search the change jars in garages and closets that nobody remembers the contents of. The greatest finds are usually discovered in places where nobody thought treasure could exist. One coin, one moment, one discovery. That is all it takes to turn a collector into someone holding a piece of modern American numismatic gold, even if the coin itself is copper-nickel clad. And if you already own one, hold on to it like the treasure it is. This is not just a coin, it is a modern legend. A coin whose value has already proven that rarity lives today, not just in decades long past, and whose price is writing a new chapter in real time. Do not underestimate what you have. The next wave of market growth could be just beginning. And now, if you are watching this video, understand this. Every single coin we talked about today is real, current, and exploding in the American marketplace right now. Somewhere out there, someone is about to open a dusty drawer, a forgotten coffee can, a bank roll from years ago, and discover a coin that could change their life forever. Maybe that person is already out there. Maybe they are watching this video right now. Or maybe the next person to make that discovery is you. So before you spend another quarter without looking at it, take a moment. Your next handful of change could be worth not just hundreds, not just thousands, but a genuine treasure that numismatists are fighting to own. And this is exactly why Rare Coin News USA brings fresh new updates, discoveries, auction shocks, and real market information every single day, because the next big coin that takes over the news may be sitting in your pocket at this very moment. If you want more rare coin discoveries, more market truths, more hidden treasures, and more real stories of collectors finding unbelievable wealth in ordinary places, make sure you stay with this channel. Because tomorrow's episode might change everything again. Stay sharp. Stay curious. Stay hunting. Rare Coin News, USA, where treasure never sleeps.